Welcome everyone as we prepare for Shabbos Parashat Tazria-Metzorah. Last week's parsha was Pasha Sheimi, where we introduced the concept of 8. And this week, the concept of 8 carries over very strong. The concept of number 8 represents taking the physical, earthy world that we live in and raising it to a higher level, commonly known as l'mayla min hateva, to a deep spiritual level. Most familiar with this concept, Hanukkah. Hanukkah is 8 days long. Heroes of the Chashmonaim, which is a contraction of Ches, which is 8, and then Shmonim, so it's 8 eights. Again, the concept of 8. The hero is the Kohen Gadol, who wears 8 garments. And Hanukkah is, of course, the idea of the Chashmonaim, representing 8, overcoming the Yevanim, who believed in the idea of physical beauty, which is 7. So they were greater than that. Parashat Tazria begins right away with the number 8. It says, when a woman has a baby boy, Shemini, on the 8th day, you circumcise the boy. This bris is often called the bris kodesh. Really, there can be nothing more blatant of an example of this idea of 8 than removing the arla on the male organ, which is the seat of all the sexual desires. Will not just be subservient, but it will be raised and spiritual and holy. Pasha Sheimi continues this idea. Mezorah is healed. He waits 7 days. On the 7th day, he goes through this process of shaving off all his hair. And after that, on the 8th day, only on the 8th day, is he allowed to bring the korban. And the korban, it says, lefnai hashem, pesach. On the 8th day, he's now lifted up to be lefnai hashem. Again, we find this by the zova and the zova, that they become tameh. Then after they become tahar, they wait 7 days. 7 clean days, 7 nakim. And after these 7 clean days, on the 8th day only, they go ahead and they bring the respective korbanot, both times lefnai hashem. So really we have Pasha Sheimi 3 times. We have 3 times in a row, hammering home the idea of living a holy life and elevating ourselves. It's no coincidence that these days in a non-leap year, these weeks in a non-leap year, always fall out after Pesach, which is the mezorah. Mezorah is our time of self-correction to prepare ourselves to properly be mekabel the Torah on shevuos. The Sfarim teaches that the 7-week period of sefira corresponds directly to the 7 nakim of the zova and the zova, this period of introspection and correction. The Radak teaches us on its Parashat Siman Kufya test that goes through every letter of the Aleph base that there's 8 psukim in each one of the letters. And he says that each one of the psukim has one of the various words that would correspond to the Torah. So here the number 8 again alludes to the Torah itself. It's only logical because the Torah is the primary way for a person to elevate themselves in their lives from this earthy, gashmi life to a elevated ruchni life. So during these days of Tazria-Metzorah and the mezorah, as we work on ourselves to climb out of the grips of the gashmi, of the earthiness that is pulling us down, remember the lesson of 8. That's why we're here, to raise ourselves, to be the spiritual being that Hashem knows we can be. And everyone, fabulous Shabbos.